I went to Arizona State University and met Dr. Rustum, who was one of the main professors, one of the big pushes behind material science in the United States. And he was at Penn State University. And I said, Dr. Rustum, I have this device, and it's purifying water. The water is different. And at that time, he was testing 10,000 different waters across the world. And he had heard from everybody about how their water was different. So he kind of said to me, yeah, right. Okay, you got different water just like everyone else. Get in line, and at some point we'll get it tested. And I said, okay. He said, tell me, how do you make the water? So I showed him how I made the water in the vessel, and he stood there and he dropped his jaw and went, oh, crap, you did it. Little did I know that he was also doing experiments with microwaves, but a different way that I was doing it. And he was changing aluminum and metals and plastics and everything. And he had actually made a transparent aluminum. He actually has been able to take aluminum and make it transparent so you can see through it, just like on Star Trek. He did it. In fact, the Army and Air Force are trying to figure out how to use it to make aluminum windshields that are transparent. You don't need glass anymore. So he looked at it and he said, okay. He said, let's get yours tested right immediately. So can you do it? So I sent him some samples. He tested it, and he said, okay, then the next thing, send it all over to the United States. Send it over to California, then fly it to New York, then down to Miami, then back to Denver, and then over to Penn State. And let's see if it stays the same or if it's changed. Oh. So I did that. We sent it all over the United States, showed up at his laboratory, and he tested it again. He goes, okay, now I'm a believer. He said, can you fly out here with your machines, set it up in my lab, and run the machine so I can see exactly what you're doing, and I'll have all my people run the machines. So I did that, and when I got there, he said, okay, now you got to go home. I said, why? I just got here. He says, because we want to make sure of two things. Number one, that you don't touch the machines. And number two is that you are not changing the water. You've heard a lot of people pray over their water or have intentions, and they're taking pictures of it and that sort of stuff. Dr. Rustum had done one experiment, and he had a monk in Russia pray over water that was in his lab. And they synchronized it with a satellite. And when the monks started praying, they started doing experiments on the water and found out it changed. Mm-hmm. The microsecond the monk quit praying, it went back to normal.
Oh, okay.
So he never found any water that ever stayed changed. Now, he got water from Lourdes, and he got it from Russia, and he got it from South America. He got it from all religions, all faiths, out of India. He was Indian himself. He tried every type of water, 10,000 different waters, and he could never find any changes that stayed permanent in it.
Oh, wow.
So he sent me home after I taught him how to run the machines, and they ran the machines for about 2 weeks, called me back up and said, okay, you can come back. Oh, he said, we ran everything, and you were away from it, and my people did the test, and it's the same. So come back. So then we spent 3 months trying to identify what the water was at that point. And we identified that the water was going through a change that gave it more energy. And what that is a rearrangement of the molecular structure. So it has been changed. And I'm going to get into, I hope, a very nice analogy about that after I talk about Dr. Jerry Pollack.